Hello! Welcome to part 1 of United Against Human Trafficking and IHI's collaborative video series about human trafficking safety and awareness. Today we will be discussing human trafficking in detail and ways to safeguard against it. For more information, check out our next video on red flags and a list of human trafficking resources in your local community. First, we'll start off with a brief definition. The Trafficking Victims Protection Act officially defines trafficked persons as people who are subjected to force, fraud, and/or coercion for the purpose of sexual exploitation and/or forced labor by the actions of recruiting, harboring, transporting, providing, obtaining, soliciting, and/or patronizing. That might be a confusing definition, so let's take a closer look and define sexual exploitation and forced labor. Sexual exploitation is when forced acts are exchanged for something of value. This can be money, shelter, drugs, or protection. Labor exploitation exists on a spectrum, including wage theft and poor working conditions. But it becomes labor trafficking when the victim cannot leave the job due to physical or psychological factors. In other words, human traffickers use their position, force, or coercion to obtain profit from sexual acts or labor. Sometimes human trafficking can be confused with human smuggling. However, they are quite different. Human smuggling involves the legal crossing of an international border and is typically voluntary. To clarify, the service being sold here is the transportation. Human trafficking is not voluntary, as we've discussed. It involves using force, fraud, and/or coercion to exploit someone for labor or commercial sex. For human trafficking to occur, it does not require movement. To clarify, the service being sold here is the labor of sex acts of someone, and this happens against their will. It is important to note that human smuggling has a possibility of turning into human trafficking. Smuggling is illegal, and because of this, smugglers can prey on their clients' needs and exploit them. Quick review. Human trafficking is the same as human smuggling, voluntary, requires physical movement from one location to another, involves using force, fraud, and/or coercion to exploit someone for labor or commercial sex. If you chose D, you are correct. Human trafficking involves using force, fraud, and/or coercion to exploit someone against their will. There are some common misconceptions about human trafficking, but in order to protect yourself and your loved ones against it, it's important to appropriately understand human trafficking. Contrary to popular belief, kidnapping or being transported is not usually how human trafficking occurs. That only accounts for a small amount of cases. Traffickers are typically someone the victim has had some type of relationship with and can even occur in familial situations. Additionally, the idea that human trafficking requires physical transport to another location is misleading. Human trafficking does not require transportation to anywhere, and it can happen to someone in their own home and while someone continues their day-to-day life. It is often thought that human trafficking only happens in developing countries. However, human trafficking is a huge problem in many countries of the world, including the United States. Studies show that more than 2,100 people have been trafficked in Texas alone since 2007, with Houston reporting the highest number of cases in the United States in 2016. Quick review. Which of these is a myth? Both undocumented and legal migrants are at risk of human trafficking. Traffickers can never be a family member. Human trafficking does not require physical transport from one place to another. More than 2,100 people have been trafficked in Texas since 2007. If you chose B, you are correct. Traffickers are typically someone the victim has had some type of relationship with and can occur in familial situations. Due to unfortunate circumstances, some communities are at higher risk to human trafficking. Among these communities, migrants, immigrants, and refugees can be at high risk. Human traffickers can prey on these communities because of language barriers, immigration status, or even lack of familiarity with U.S. laws, regulations, and labor requirements. Additionally, migrant communities are also less likely to report crimes due to fear of deportation or mistrust in local police and government. Those that relocate for work are also among the high-risk communities, as they can sometimes fall victim to false job offers. False job offers are frequently used to lure victims to the states, taking advantage of those looking for better opportunities. Human traffickers may prey on people or communities they perceive as vulnerable, and as a result may also target homeless or runaway youth, members of the LGBTQ+ community, undocumented individuals, those with involvements with CPS or the criminal justice system, those with history of any type of abuse, those who struggle with substance use, and those with low socioeconomic statuses. Quick review. True or false? Human traffickers target individuals they think are vulnerable. True. One example, traffickers tend to prey on migrant communities because of language differences, immigration status, lack of familiarity with U.S. laws, along with homeless and runaway youth and those with low socioeconomic statuses and resources. False job offers do not exist. False. Sometimes human traffickers use false job offers to take advantage of people looking for better opportunities. So how can you protect yourself and others? Be vigilant. Always stay aware of your surroundings. Make sure you're aware of what is going on around you so that you can quickly identify when something is out of the ordinary. Don't hesitate to alert the authorities if you notice something suspicious. Be informed of local and trusted resources you can contact if need be. Watch our next video to learn about a few we've identified. Thank you for watching the first video in our two-part video series about human trafficking. Check out our next video for more information on resources in your local community. Please take our short survey in the description below for a chance to win a $20 gift card. United Against Human Trafficking. We fight so that all may live free. IHI, empowering our communities by empowering you.